Yo, what is going on? Welcome back to my channel. Hey, I had to do a quick breaking news special announcement because this Shedeur Sanders thing has gotten out of hand. I had to put the prime shades on, as you can see, because there's some sort of collusion going on amongst NFL owners and GMs or whatever. And it is absolutely asinine. But before we get into this, man, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. As you know, class is in session. So yeah, every year I do. I evaluate the top 5 quarterbacks. I've never been NFL scout, but I've watched NFL long enough to see what works and what has not worked, and I've actually been fairly accurate in the past 5-6 years I've been doing this. So it's not really a science to me. I just I look at 3 or 4 games. I look at every throw, and that's how I'm able to do my evaluation. Right. So when doing that evaluation, I looked at uh, all the top 5 quarterbacks for the most part, consensus, right? And when I watch the games, my top 5 quarterbacks rank like this. And some players may not ever play and may not be in the league in 2 or 3 years, but I think just for this draft is what it is. So I had Shedeur Sanders head and shoulders above every quarterback. So me and Mel Kiper are on the same there. Secondly, I had Will Howard. Will Howard was number 2 for me, quarterback out of Ohio State. Cam Ward was number 3. I'm a University of Miami fan. I love the U through and through, but I just didn't see it. Just didn't see what everybody else was seeing. Number 4, I had Jackson Dart. Same thing. I just didn't see it. And then number 5, I had Dylan Gabriel out of Oregon. How I evaluate quarterbacks are a few things, right? So for me, the number 1 trait a quarterback needs to be able to have is accuracy. You need to be an accurate quarterback. I don't care about all the running. That's a plus. That's icing on the cake, but you need to be able to be accurate. The second piece is, can you process? And what I mean by processing, that's pre-snap, that's during the play, and that's after. So after the play, if you made a mistake, okay, let me go through that. Let me see what I did wrong. Or when you get to the sidelines, let me look at the tablet, see what I did wrong. Can you read the pre-snap? What were they doing pre-snap? What adjustments do I need to make? What adjustments do I need to make for the line, my receivers, my running back? And then during the game, okay, so I think they're in. So pre-snap, they look like they're in man, but then when we snap the ball, we hike the ball, they're in zone. So now I need to adjust to what I'm doing, right? Those are my evaluation pieces there. If you could run perfect, right? So even going back to the Panthers draft a couple years ago when they drafted Bryce Young, I'm not a Bryce Young fan. Still to this day, I'm not a Bryce Young fan. I thought for what they needed from a quarterback, Anthony Richardson would have fit the bill. I didn't think Anthony Richardson was the best quarterback. I just thought he'd be the best fit for the Panthers. The reason being is because we didn't have a line. And I knew the quarterback was going to get beat up. What happened? The quarterback got beat up. I didn't think CJ Stroud was going to be good here. The reason I didn't think he was good because I've been watching the film at Ohio State, and Pro Football Focus showed this a little bit later. He was not good against pressure. I think he went from like 60 or 70% accuracy to like 26 or 27% accuracy against pressure. I knew Carolina, again, we didn't have a line. He's going to be up against pressure. If you see what happened this year, as opposed to his rookie year, his line was better his rookie year. His line was hurt his sophomore year, and they thought he had a sophomore slump. No, he is just not good against pressure. Then he also went to Ohio State. Don't really care for Ohio State quarterbacks, although Will Howard was my number 2. Didn't like Bryce Young because Bryce Young is under 6 feet, 1. And when you lack physical attributes, you have to be great at something else. You need to be fast or have a cannon for arm. He had neither one of them. Everything people kept saying was that he was a great processor. Don't care about processing unless you're processing some meat. Pulse. No diddy. But no, I'm just saying, I just didn't think it was great. I mean, he had a decent season toward the end. I'm just still not sold on him. I mean, he can win us 3 Super Bowls, and I still wouldn't be sold on Bryce Young. That's just how I feel about Bryce Young. Go back a few years later, I said Mac Jones was the second best quarterback in that draft. And I still haven't been proven wrong, although he's no quarterback other than Trevor Lawrence is on the same team that drafted him. That's the Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Mac Jones draft. Mac Jones had probably the best first season. Second season, he had a bunch of defensive coordinators, and now he's in San Francisco, which Brock Purdy needs to be looking behind over his shoulder, behind his back, because I don't think San Francisco is going to give Brock Purdy that money. I don't think you should give him that money because you already got Mac Jones back there. I wish San Francisco would have signed him to a longer deal than 2 years, but it is what it is. Needless to say, Shedeur Sanders was bar none the best quarterback in this draft. So before we get started, I'm gonna let Michael Irvin, former teammate of Deion Sanders, Shedeur's daddy, start us off. Let's go, Mike. Playmaker.
The explanation of greatness.
Take it away.
You are informed and edified. I'm going to crack your cranium and fertilize your brain.
Go ahead and
right here, right now.
That's right. I'm going to crack your cranium and fertilize your brain. Reminded me of Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah. But let's go ahead and get started. Let's go with the first quarterback in this journey. The first quarterback I'm going to look at is Tyler. What's his name? Show, the quarterback out of Louisville. Let me pull him up real quick. All right, so let's go ahead and look at these stats. This guy went before Shedeur Sanders. He went to New Orleans. Thank you, New Orleans, for drafting another crappy quarterback after you drafted Spencer Rattler last year. New Orleans Saints drafted this guy in the second round. Second round draft pick, right? 40th overall in the second round, right? 6'5", 225. This man has played, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's been in college football for 6 years. Let's see, 99. He's to be 26 this year. 26-year-old quarterback. He's 62.7%. His best season was actually in 2021 at Texas Tech. They threw for 69%. We can't count Oregon. He only threw 15 attempts, right? And when he threw less than 100 here. But anytime he throws more than 100, he hasn't been above 65. 62% completion rate, 23 tuds, and 6 interceptions. Y'all see this, right? Y'all see this was number 40 in the second round. 40th pick in the 40th pick in the NFL draft. Second round draft pick. Let's see what the tape says. It's a little bit of him versus Boston College. Low and behind. Let's watch this pass. There's a run. Look at the next one. See what happens here. Overthrows the receiver. Decent pass, right? This is the 40th pick. This is who went over Shedeur Sanders. Let's see what he does here. Scrambler to his right. Throws a pick. This is Boston College. This ain't like some great school. They were 4-3 in this situation. Boston College. And he had the most interceptions. Look at this. Look at that throw. That throw was terrible. But obviously he's a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders from what NFL evaluators are saying. The GM of the New Orleans Saints thinks he's a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. This is absolutely asinine. The unmitigated gall, as Stephen A. Smith would say. I'm gonna stop it here. I'm gonna stop that one. Give me 1 second. Y'all see it. Y'all watch this for yourself. Now, let's watch a video that went viral of this same quarterback at the combine. Watch this. What in the hell is that? Here at the combine, no pressure. Nothing. No pressure, no nothing. Y'all see this nonsense? Y'all see this nonsense? No pressure, no nothing. And he overthrows this guy by 3 or 4 yards. Thank you, Saints, because we got some defensive players in this draft. I appreciate that. So that's Taylor, the 26-year-old Shaw, whatever his name is. I don't know how to say his name. That's that one. On to the next one. All right, up next is Jalen Milroe. My guy, you are next. The next contestant on the pick is wrong. All right, Jalen Milroe, 92nd pick in the third round. Went before Shedeur Sanders. Wasn't even in my top 5. Really only started 2 years with at Alabama. Last year was probably his best season, 23 tuds and 6 interceptions. 65.8% completion percentage, 64.3 in last year, 16 tuds, 11 interceptions. Let me tell you something. Jalen Milroe is less accurate than a broken clock. And a broken clock is right twice a day. Let me say it again. Jalen Milroe is less accurate than a broken clock. What he does have is speed. And speed kills, but again, there's a lot of fast quarterbacks who've come in this league and did absolutely positively nothing. So that's who another guy that went before Shedeur Sanders. There has to be some collusion going on. Let's look at some game film. All right, here we go. Jalen Milroe. Here we go. Oh, do we blame the receiver or do we blame him? Popped up for an interception. Pick 6. See what happens here. Against South Carolina. A pretty good SEC opponent. Has some good defensive players. See what happens here. All right. What is that? Interception. Told you, man. A broken clock is more accurate than this man. A broken clock is more accurate than Jalen Milroe was. See it from the end zone camera. Watch this. Boop. I mean, you let him too far. Receiver didn't really run through, but you let him too far. Pick 6, man. I mean, interception. Not even a pick 6. Interception. Let's see. Let's get one more throw. South Carolina. They're in the red zone. Look like they can score. All right. At least get a field goal. Red zone. You don't want to turn the ball. You don't want a quarterback turn the ball over in the red zone. A little pressure, fading away. Look at this pass. This pass is god awful. He just hangs up there. This is college. You hang a ball out there like that in the NFL, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I mean, this is who went before Shedeur Sanders. As we say, on to the next one. All right, here we go. Jackson Dart. This guy went before Shedeur. Matter of fact, the Giants traded back in to get this man. 25th overall. Look at this. And he played for Lincoln Riley. If anybody knows anything about Lincoln Riley's teams always play well, but they don't play a pro-style offense. And a lot of times it does not translate to the next level. 69.3% completion rating, 42.79, 29-6. Go back and look at Lincoln Riley quarterbacks. Look at their stats, and then look at what they did in the NFL. So there's his stats. Better than what we've seen so far, right? So let's go to the tape.
By Dart. Look at how many defenders are on the right side of the field. Instead, if he takes the top, it's a touchdown. He works the left, and he's got major problems with all that flow working from right to left from the Gators. He throws into triple coverage, gets impatient.
So then again, like I said, pre-snap, during the snap, during the play and post-snap, right? He threw the ball into triple coverage.
And it's easily intercepted by Thornton.
Triple coverage.
In the end zone, and now the Gators have a chance to put this thing on ice because of the poor decision by the veteran Jackson Dart over here against the left tackle. He's excellent one-on-one. Dart to the sideline again.
Look at this. Look at this.
Is that intercepted by DJ Johnson? It is. Make fourth down a little more manageable, so you got to be thinking about the first down more than the touchdown at this point. 4-man rush. Dart. Side arms one down the sideline. That one is going to be picked. Another miscommunication.
Hey, Giants fans, have you seen enough? Have you seen enough of the guy your team traded back into the first round to get? You got that for 5 years after you just saw Daniel Jones for 6. That's what y'all have. Brian Daboll, get ready to get your walking papers, my guy. This is who you drafted. Again, you cannot tell me there's not some sort of collusion in the NFL. Now, let's look at my number 1 quarterback, Mel Kiper's number 1 quarterback. The number 2 pick in the draft's quarterback. Let's look at Shedeur Sanders.
So let's talk about how the quarterbacks are evaluated during this pre-draft process. Because I'll tell you this, on the field, Shedeur Sanders is a day 1 or day 2 selection. He was the only quarterback in the entire FBS last season who, when he was not under pressure, completed at least 80% of his passes. This is a 4-year starter who took 2 separate programs to unprecedented heights.
Y'all heard that, right? When not under pressure, had an 80% completion rate. Unheard of.
Extremely experienced, throws with great touch and accuracy, helped elevate the profile of other wide receivers beyond just Travis Hunter. It only leads me to believe that teams maybe are less comfortable with some of the stuff that comes into the intangibles department for Shedeur Sanders. And frankly, I'm not sure that's justified. Scott, I understand that Deion Sanders, and there's a lot of attention being paid to him being the son of one of the most notable athletes that we have seen in the history of professional sports. But frankly, I'm stunned. I don't have a good explanation for why Shedeur Sanders has not heard his name called. I had him as the 16th rated player on my board. I haven't been doing this nearly as long as Mel Kiper, but I can't imagine there have been too many instances where the 16th rated player on a big board is still available on day 3 or going into day 3. I am truly perplexed by why this situation has gotten to the point that we are now in.
That man said perplexed. Multiple syllable word. This is what's going on, man. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Before we get to Mel Kiper, I'll go to one more guy.
When you look at this, you say that Shedeur Sanders, you see that Shedeur Sanders was clearly talented enough to be selected in the top 5 when it comes to quarterbacks, right? He was a top 5 quarterback in this year's class. Not a great class, not a class that had many first rounders, but he was one of the 5 best quarterbacks in this NFL draft. You're not going to convince me otherwise of that.
Here's a look at Shedeur's ranks, which only amplify the statements made there by Jonathan
numbers.
Jones. It's the highest completion percentage in a single season in FBS history.
Y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard that, right? The highest completion percentage in FBS history. Highest. And this man's going behind a 26-year-old, a guy that's less accurate than a broken compass, and Cam Ward. And a guy that throws the ball in triple man coverage and double man coverage.
Yet and still, we head to day 3 with Sanders available.
Now, let's see what Kiper has to say.
I think it's disgusting. I don't understand what the heck's going on with this. 5th player on my board. It's never happened before in 47 years where a player that high has dropped this far into the 4th round at quarterback. That's sitting there in round 4 with other quarterbacks being taken who aren't as good as Shedeur, aren't even close, in my opinion, in terms of accuracy, toughness. Arm strength is certainly more than good enough. I don't see, outside of not being have the rocket arm and the 4.6 speed and the big frame, the 6'3", 230-pound frame, what is he lacking? Somebody's going to have to explain that one to me. 4th round, Kirk Cousins went. 4th round, Dak Prescott went. Worked out pretty good for them. It's just that Shedeur was projected a lot higher than they were. That's why we're having this discussion.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it from the big boss yourself. Y'all heard it from the big man. The man has been doing this for years and years and years. Mel Kiper Jr. So y'all heard it from him. He don't understand what's going on. Before I play Shedeur Sanders highlights, if you're a black GM, if you're a black coach, and you're a part of this collusion, Mike Tomlin, I'm talking to you, man. Listen. You're going to start Mason Rudolph or Skylar Thompson? You're trying to tell me that Shedeur Sanders is a worse quarterback than what you currently have? You ought to be out of your fucking job. Put it in the paper, quote it, stamp it, send it to him. Mike Tomlin, if you refuse to select Shedeur Sanders, you should be out of your fucking job. Period, point blank. Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson are not better quarterbacks than Shedeur Sanders. Black GMs, you're doing yourselves a disservice. You know how hard it was for you to get your job. What they say in the black community, you got to work twice as hard to get half as far. You guys have worked twice as hard, actually probably 4 times as hard to get where you are now. And because someone may be a little bit more cocky, a little bit more arrogant, believes in himself. Father was flashy, maybe had some run-ins with the media. Okay? The sins of the father, the people say. Your job is to evaluate talent. And if you're going to tell me, if you can go on record, if you can take a lie detector test and tell me that Shedeur Sanders is a worse quarterback than the quarterbacks that have been drafted, you ought to be out of your fucking jobs. That's period, point blank. That means you can't evaluate talent. That means you're afraid of what may come. Guess what? Brian Daboll in New York, you're going to lose your fucking job anyway. Why not go out in the gusto? Why not? Mike Tomlin, they calling for your head in Pittsburgh because your ass ain't won shit in 10 years. You get there but can't win shit. You're still hanging on to what you did with Big Ben. And let's talk about Big Ben. Did he not have some issues off the field? You're trying to tell me that Kenny Pickett, the guy you drafted in the first round a few years ago, is better than Shedeur Sanders? Come on, man. Are we serious right now? Why do you step on the field? We play to win the game. Shedeur Sanders, all he has done is win. He's been at Jackson State, won. He's been at Colorado, won. Colorado ain't been on the map since Rashawn Salam was there, right? Since Joey Galloway was running routes. That's how long it's been since Colorado has had any relevance. And in 2 years, Deion Sanders has brought them to relevance. Led by a quarterback by the name of Shedeur Sanders. If his name was Shedeur Brady, he would have been drafted already. Who was Travis Hunter catching balls from? It wasn't a Joe Blow. And just because Travis Hunter has talent, just because Travis Hunter is the Fred Biletnikoff winner, doesn't mean his quarterback was bad. No quarterback could have just done that for him. Shedeur Sanders is a great player. Tom Brady didn't have an arm, maybe took too many sacks, was statuesque. Maybe one the most prototypical quarterback. Is arguably the GOAT. Arguably the GOAT. Has won championships with 2 franchises. This is the path Shedeur Sanders is going to go on. Las Vegas. If y'all don't draft Shedeur Sanders, we got a problem. Because Tom Brady, you're a co-owner. And you worked out with Shedeur. What kind of slap in the face or stab in the back is that? There are teams that need quarterbacks. Let me get off my soapbox. Let's get to the real, man. I'm sorry. Let y'all see what I'm talking about here, man. I apologize. Because I can go for a while. This is how hot I am about this. This is crazy that this man can't get a freaking job because y'all mad because of his father.
All rushing from one side. The Big 12 opener comes down to this play. Sanders gets the feet set toward the end zone for the game. And yes!
Game winner. Game winner. He is prime time, a PTP, as Dick Vitale would say. Prime time performer. In an epic game, should be on ESPN Classic, they still had it. Epic game. He throws that, no time left on the clock. And that puts the game, that ties the game, and it puts it in overtime, and they end up winning that game.
Just like 1990.
I'm gonna turn the sound off just for copyright issues. Look at this pass. Look at this pass. They had Colorado ranked in the nation. When is the last time Colorado has been ranked in the nation? Tell me when. Don't worry. I'll wait. Pass after pass after pass. I'll probably show 2 more. And then we'll go on. Y'all have seen enough of this. Y'all know. Y'all know who. Look at this. Look at this pass. Now, Jackson Dart, you want to throw against triple coverage? You put it in a spot that nobody else is but your receiver. Look at this. Man has been sacked more than 90-some-odd times. Escapes pressure, rolls out to his left, throws a dart to Travis Hunter. Jacksonville, go get him. Let him back up Trevor Lawrence. On a dime. Look at that. In the bucket. In the bucket. Muddy pocket. Dime. Muddy pocket. Man, then he had the break stride. Dime. Touchdown. Look at this. Muddy. Moving. Steps up. Still looking downfield. Dime. Wide open. And you're telling me he's worse. He's the worst quarterback in this draft. Are we serious right now? I'm gonna stop showing this, man. NFL, y'all got some explaining to do. Brian Flores, come help Shedeur out, man. Let's get a collusion case going. There has to be some collusion. This is just ridiculous. But we'll see where he goes. I'm filming this. 4th round's going on. By the time I get this edited, the draft will be over. Edited now, the draft will be over with. Let's see where he goes. For him to have gone this far, we're on pick 4th round, pick 126 right now to the Browns, and they picked Dylan Sampson. I'm sorry, I lied. We're on pick 131 in the 4th round. So we'll pick 131 as I'm filming this. We'll see where he goes. It'll be very ironic. Who has the 199th pick? Let me see. Who has the 199th pick real quick? See if I can pull that up. 6th round. Who has 199? The Los Angeles Chargers. So he probably more likely not will not go 199. But Los Angeles Rams, why not 195? Y'all need a backup for Matthew Stafford. Why not have him in LA? So Shedeur Sanders 195. Hey, but I'm signing out here, man. Like I said, this will be edited and sent out after the draft, but y'all will see it. But for him to have to wait this long, this is crazy. I want to thank you guys for rocking with me. Class dismissed.
This big black man